If you're a classical musician new to worship music, you are in the right place. Today we're going to be talking about a free resource you can use to help you learn everything you need to know to survive in a worship band setting and to help you feel more comfortable and confident in a band setting as soon as possible. My name's Matt, and I have been playing violin classically for nearly 2 decades and in worship settings for over 10 years. So I've seen firsthand how intimidating it can be for classical musicians to get started in worship music and how powerful it can be when they do. I remember when I got started playing worship music, it was super overwhelming. There are so many differences between classical music and worship music. For one, as classical musicians, we are typically dependent on sheet music. So when you take that out of the equation, which is the case for most worship bands, most of us classical musicians have no idea what to play. Add on to that worship instruments are typically amplified versus our acoustic classical instruments. Worship bands typically don't have a conductor like a symphonic band or an orchestra would, and the list goes on. All in all, it can feel like a lot. That's why we created the resource I mentioned earlier in this video, which is called Sunday Survival Kit. Sunday Survival Kit will teach you everything you need to know to survive in a worship band setting. And the content is largely split up into 3 sections. If you are ready to get access to Sunday Survival Kit right now, there is a link down below in the description of this video. For now though, I'm going to talk through those 3 sections to give you a high-level understanding of what Sunday Survival Kit is all about. The first section is called What to Bring. For a lot of you, this might not be the first question that comes to mind when you think about playing in worship, but there's really nothing worse than showing up to rehearsal unprepared. That's why this section talks through all the things you might need to bring to play in worship, including your instrument, any chord charts you might need, any sound gear, and an instrument stand. This section specifically gets into the nitty-gritty details of how to amplify your acoustic instrument. There are lots of different ways to do this, and most churches should have options for you. But it's good to know what those options are beforehand so you can have a plan coming into rehearsal. Showing up to rehearsal without all the things you need is the first way to get off on the wrong foot. So make sure you have all the essentials. The second section of Sunday Survival Kit is what to expect in a worship band setting. In this section, we talk specifically about what it's like to play in an ensemble that's amplified. Things like monitors, in-ear mixes, click tracks, sound checks, music directors. There's a lot of new dimensions when the band is playing with amplified instruments. Additionally, this section talks through some of the biggest mistakes that classical musicians make in worship and how you can avoid making those mistakes. And that brings us to the third section of Sunday Survival Kit, which is what to play. For most classical musicians getting started in worship, this is the biggest mystery. What do I play? We're so used to depending on sheet music that when you take that away from us, we don't know what to do. This section gives you 5 awesome options for what you can play as a classical musician in worship. It also talks through the general structure of a contemporary worship song, as well as the roles that classical instruments can play within a worship band. It really takes a lot of the things that are most intimidating to classical musicians and demystifies them in a really approachable way. Overall, Sunday Survival Kit is packed with content that will be helpful for you as a musician, whether you're new to worship music or whether you're an experienced player. It's truly everything you need to know to survive in a worship band. So like I said before, you can get free access to Sunday Survival Kit using the link that is in the description down below this video. Additionally, feel free to check out the other resources we have here on our channel, as well as on our website, which is also linked down below. Ultimately, I hope this resource blesses you and helps you use your gifts even more to glorify God.